Let us see the next topic, that is biodiversity in living world, or only diversity in the living world. What is diversity? You know, the term diverse means wide range. The organisms existing on this planet are scientifically studied. They are graded. First of all the organisms are classified into kingdoms. Kingdom is further divided into phyla. Each phylum divided, phyla or divisions. Each phylum is again divided into, and the least unit, the basic unit, fundamental unit of classification is the species, as we consider today. So a species is the fundamental unit, means basic unit, lowest unit, smallest unit, and kingdom is the largest unit. Between these, a total of 7 categories are used for taxonomic condition to describe the systematic position of any organism in the animal kingdom. These are 7 obligate categories utilized. Obligate means essential categories utilized to describe the exact position of the organism in the world. Now, biodiversity. What is biodiversity? See one example. Total plant species studied scientifically on this earth are 0.5 million, and total animal species on this planet are 1.25 million. So total species of organisms equal to 1.75 million. Okay, means there are 1.75 millions of species. For example, total human of the world constitute one species, belong to single species. Similarly, a species term is specific for those organisms which interbreed between them and produce fertile progeny. So total human being belongs to a single species. All the monkeys, a specific monkeys, monkey is the genus, it contains many species within it. So a species number is very high. How many total species are scientifically studied today on this earth are 1.75 millions, and one estimate says that there may be 10 or more millions of species are still to be discovered. More than 10 millions, and one estimate says that more than 30 or 40 million species have been extinct, means they have no living progeny today existing on this planet. All they are found in the form of their only the fossils, that is called, they have extinct. So we are only considering the scientific studied species, that is 1.75 million. How these species are made? Why not these are made only in 4 or 5 species only, so that it would be very easy for a new student of biology to know about all these 4 or 5 groups. But the question is that fundamental properties of organisms differ very greatly. They are different on their different bases, like habitat, form, color, morphology, anatomy, cytology, biomolecules, genetics. Means the organism differ from each other very greatly, so they can't be studied into only few groups. So scientists have finally made 1.75 million groups or species to categorize these animals. A student of a biology become a student of a biology become a student of a biology become he can know about this huge number of he can know about this huge number of species. But first of all, we will define biodiversity. Solution of this diversity. Solution of this diversity. How biodiversity can be studied within only few hours. How we can know about all the species existing within few hours only. So what is biodiversity? Let us define. Okay. Occurrence of wide range of characters in organisms on the basis of concepts of biochemistry, cytology, genetics, physiology, habitat, life forms, morphology, anatomy, and ecological specifications. What is diversity? Occurrence of wide range of characters in animals and plants, in organisms, on the basis of concepts. Development of नेट नहीं आ रहा डेवलपमेंट ऑफ नेट नहीं आ रहा डिस्टर्ब किया क्या मोबाइल को कोई अनदर मोबाइल आगे छोड़ दो आगे तो so we see here so we see here the ecological adaptations also. Now we will see the terminologies used in this chapter. What terminologies are used here? We will see. Terminologies are very important to understand for the new student because it helps them to differentiate the two terms exactly to be used for any purpose. Let us see the first term is systematics. Systematics. What is systematics? The term given by Simpson. The term is derived from system. Systematics. System means arranging the units of any category, any assemblage on the basis of certain defined rules and regulations. Okay, for example, suppose you are a librarian of very rich library consisting of 10 million types of books. In your library. In your library. In your library. In the library science. In the library science. In the library science. In the library science. You have knowledge that which type of book should be given which code. According to that, they are arranged. Suppose any reader wants a specific book, then you librarian will suggest him that this book number is your choice and here it is in position, and the reader very easily obtain it and become benefited. Similarly, there is medicine shop. Different kinds of medicines are there, but all they are arranged on the basis of different rules and regulations. Suppose a very lazy shopkeeper keeps the medicines haphazardly, means without any rules and regulations, and if any customer want a specific medicine very urgently, then it is impossible to search the required medicine within limited time until patient survives. Means it is useless to become the shopkeeper of unorganized medicine shop, unorganized library. So what is systematics? Have you developed the concept of systematics? Why it is necessary? Take one more close example. You read periodic classification of elements. Suppose 115 elements have been studied and these have different characters, but difference is in increasing or decreasing order. So what Moseley made, Mendeleev and Moseley finally categorized these elements according to similarity and dissimilarity of characters into few grades, and these grades are again either increasing or in decreasing order are arranged. That is the systematics. What is the modern periodic law? It is the principle of systematics. Similarly, in case of biodiversity, it is a havoc for new student of biology because millions of species are to be studied. A person survives only for few thousand of days for its total life span, and here number is in million. Means if a person want to study one species daily, then he have to take many births to complete the study of total species. And in this duration of time, he cannot conclude, he cannot compare, select out the questions aroused from about these organisms. So let us consider the systematics of biodiversity. It is the rules and regulations framed by systematists, by discussion, by practical, by comparing the similarity and dissimilarity of their characters, position of any organism, position of any organism, position of any organism in the living world. Okay, so it is the systematics. How we will define systematics? The branch of science dealing with the organism's complete evolutionary and comparative sequence on the basis of, on what basis they are organized, comparative anatomy, comparative anatomy, physiology, cytology, genetics, etc. So systematics is the branch of science dealing with the organisms complete evolutionary and comparative sequence on the basis of comparative anatomy, physiology, cytology, genetics, etc. It is the term systematics. Means there are many bases for a study. How cytologically organisms are different, how genetically organisms are different. First we study the genetics of each and every individual. Now we compare them. How they arrived, means evolutionary sequence. How they arrived. First arrive. For example, in animals we will see Protozoa, Porifera, Sedentrata, and Platyhelminthes, Escalminthes, Annelida. All these groups arrived one by one during organic evolution of life. So this is the knowledge of evolutionary relationship sequence and comparative sequence. Comparative means how they are cytologically related. Suppose two groups of animals are different by 1% of characters and another group is different from 5%. Then first, second and third position is fixed according to similarity. Those groups which are more similar in characters are kept very near to each other in the systematics. So systematics is the detailed study of each and every known scientific characters in each and every organism in detail in all respects. Means it is exhaustive branch that deals with the individual studies of organisms one by one for its entire life. We say that what is the life cycle of frog, we say that what is life cycle of this insect. It is the knowledge of systematists of years of study on that single frog, on that insect, and now we have gathered 1.75 million of species scientifically in our knowledge, and it is the great achievement. Now the question is that how this great data of knowledge should be used by beginners of a biology also, and so we include the systematics as the key of all these problems. Within 4 or 5 classes, the students are able to know the entire species existing on this world. Okay, so what is systematics? Systematics is the solution of problems of biodiversity. If biodiversity is a wide range, then systematics is its very close, very easy solution of that complex lock. Okay, so let us start the new term, systematics, and then taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is the term given by Linnaeus, and it was first given by given by Candolle, D. Candolle. But later on, father of taxonomy was the Linnaeus, who explained it very exhaustively. So let us see the term is utilized by Candolle, D. Candolle. What is taxon first and nomy? There are two terms here, taxon and nomy. Taxon means any rank of the organism used in classification is called taxon, and nomy is giving it a proper name, proper scientific name, which may be well accepted, well defined, and utilized the internal or fundamental properties of that organism. For example, Homo sapiens is the scientific name of human being. So it is well acceptable and understandable term Homo sapiens. How it is made, how it is the terms are chosen. All these are framed according to the rules and regulations by Linnaeus. So taxonomy was greatly elaborated and converted to practical form by Linnaeus. So he is called father of taxonomy. But the term initially was given by Candolle, D. Candolle. Now what is taxonomy? Taxonomy and systematics. These two terms are very similar to each other. Means they are synonymous. The results of both are the same. Okay. For example, if there is a pathological lab, here is one MBBS doctor, pathologist, and there are some technician. These are not doctors, these are not MBBS. So the technicians follow the instruction given by the doctor, how to test the level of glucose, how to test the level of uric acid in semen or serum or different things. Means all the tests are being performed on the table by the technicians, but under the guidance of the MBBS doctor pathologist. Similarly, there are two terms. One doctor and another technician is systematics and taxonomy. Means rules and regulations. Why it should be heated, why should be heated below 85 degrees Celsius, why only few drops of this is given. Means all the rules and regulations are made by systematics, but these rules and regulations are strictly followed by the technicians in the lab to draw out the results. Means the results are executed by the technicians, but the steps followed by the technicians are made by the systematics. So taxonomy is the practical aspect of systematics. The aim of both are to give the scientific positions of every organism in the living world. Okay, so taxonomy is sometimes understood as synonym of systematics, but when you will ask the difference between systematics and taxonomy, then you will say that systematics is the elaborate study of each and every character of each and every individual, and then framing the rules and regulations to classify them into different categories. It will define a species, it will define genus, it will define phylum. All these rules and regulations are made by systematics. So it is very theoretical aspect that frames the rules and regulations, but taxonomy is practical aspect of systematics, in which results are drawn on the basis of systematics rules and regulations. So what is taxonomy? Taxon means any rank, like a species, genus, etc. And nomy is nomenclature, means giving scientific name. So taxonomy is considered as synonym of systematics, but the area of a study are different. What is taxonomy? A taxonomy is the branch taxonomy, the branch of science dealing with the branch of science dealing with the a study of a study of three parts, three duties. These are: first is identification, classification, and nomenclature of the organisms. Okay, so what is taxonomy? It has three types of duties. First is identification, second is classification, and third is nomenclature. So there are three duties of taxonomist. These duties are identification, classification, and finally is the nomenclature of the organism. Now let us see these duties one by one. So there are three duties bound with taxonomy. The first is identification. What is identification? Identification means what? What is identification? Suppose a patient visits the physician doctor. Then doctor asks the patient, what is problem with your health? Now the patient is counting his problem. First, when he not take food for a longer period of time, there is pain in our stomach, in its stomach. If he drinks more water, then he frequently goes for urination. Means the patient is giving information about general characters of the organisms. So the physician doctor will not note down either of the statement given by the patient, because all the characters explained by the patient are for in general. It is not related with the diseases, because the doctor has taught in its lesson the symptom and disease. He correlates the symptoms with disease. That he has knowledge during his study. But the patient is not giving the symptom that doctor has studied in its course. So there is no notation, no writing of any character about this patient. Means the patient should take a specific problem of any disease. then doctor can reach the conclusion. Means that is the patient which is not telling any identifiable character. So physician is not identifying the disease of the patient. Okay. For example, suppose a person visits you and request you that you are the student of biology. Can you say which type of organism he has met today? In the way, you will ask which type of organism you have seen. Can you say some characters? The person explains you that the animal was 2 feet in length, 5 kg in weight, black in appearance. Now what conclusion you will get? You cannot draw any conclusion from these statements, these informations. Why? Because weight, body color or length, all these are not identifiable characters. Because the systematists that framed the rules and regulations had not included these characters. These are general characters. A specific characters must be noted down. That is different in few groups only. That is found in few groups only. Weight is the common, length is the common character of all the organisms. So how you will categorize these animals? How you can recognize them? Means identification means what? How you will identify? If he says that its body is covered with hairs, it has 2 ears, then you can conclude it is animal, it is mammal with 2 ears. So you can get some conclusions if identifiable characters are explained, because systematists have recognized only few characters. That is called identifiable characters, and these characters must be noted down by a taxonomist to draw the conclusion, to put the systematic position of the organism in the living world. So this is the identification. Okay, what is identification? It is the accumulation, gathering of, noting the characters of organism that is utilized by systematists. So what is the identification? It is the practice of taxonomists to note down the key characters of any organism, which helps in classification of that organism. Means taxonomists note down the key characters. Key characters means those characters which are utilized and defined by systematics, utilized by taxonomists for classification. So what is key characters? What is the key? Taxonomic key. What is taxonomic key? It is the list of alternate characters alternate characters. It is the list of alternate characters on which similarity or dissimilarity among organisms are determined for classification. Key characters only. These key characters are well defined by systematists. Okay, so key characters must be noted about the organisms for taxonomy. Okay. Now we see the another term, that is what is classification. After taxonomy, after identification, we will see the term classification. Kingdom, phylum or division. Class, order, family, genus and species. Family, genus and species. These are a total of 7 obligate categories used in systematics. How many? Only 7. साउंड बंद कर दे इसका. ओके, हो गया. Put it. So there are 7 obligate categories. How do you like this? These are 7 obligate categories of taxonomy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now let us think about these 7 categories. Okay. These are 7 obligate categories. For example, we compare these 7 categories with the words utilized to provide proper postal address of any individual person. First we write name, house number, post office, police station, district, state, pin, or these are the categories. 4 or 5 categories must be present to depict the proper address, postal address of any individual. Okay. If among these any essential categories one is missing, suppose district name is not given, then it becomes very difficult. Okay. So all these must be mentioned for proper address, and any 2 persons of the world cannot have the exactly similar address, postal address. Okay. Suppose we are using 6 grades for our postal address, then either of these ranks, the 2 persons are differing. Its name may be different, district may be different, state may be different, house number may be different, but never all the categories of any 2 persons will be the same. Similarly, we use the grades, different grades of the organisms like kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species to give the proper place of any organism in the living world. For example, what is our position, human's position in living world? What is kingdom? First write. Our kingdom is Animalia. What is our phylum? Our phylum is Chordata. Class. What is our class is Chordata. Phylum. What is our phylum? Our phylum is, first of all, kingdom Animalia. 5 kingdoms are made. Now Animalia is again divided into different phyla, but plants are divided into divisions. These phyla are chordate, and then we find the class. The class is Mammalia. What is our order? Primate. Family Hominidae. Genus Homo, and a species is the Sapiens. Later we will see all these terms. We will define each and every term later on, but we use these 7 terms, and all these 7 grades of human cannot be similar to the organisms like a mango tree, like monkey, like any dog. All these categories cannot be similar of any of the organisms belonging to different species. Okay. So these are the classification grades. So what is classification? It is the practice to provide these 7 obligate categories of any individual according to the identified characters. We have identified characters about any organism. Now we will see the characters of different kingdoms. Suppose there are 5 kingdoms. Kingdom 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We will compare the identified key characters of any organism with these 5 groups. Means systematists have already put the set of identified character of each kingdom. So there are 5 types of kingdoms and each kingdom has a set of characters. Now any unknown organism we have taken and identified its character. Now its characters are matched with the given characters of each kingdom by systematists and found that it is maximum resembling with the kingdom 3. So we will provide the name of kingdom of that organism as 3. Now let us come to find out the further categories within that kingdom. Suppose kingdom 3 is divided into 5 phyla by systematists and characters of each phyla is given. Now again we match the identified characters with one by one these phylum. What happens? We conclude the maximum similarity again. Suppose there are 5 phyla A, B, C and D and the maximum identified character is matching with that of D. Then we will say that phylum is D, kingdom is 3, phylum is D. Now in the chapter of phylum 4 or D, again we will see that it is divided into many classes. Suppose it has 3 classes, alpha, beta and gamma. Again we match the identified characters with these alpha, beta and gamma classes individually and found that maximum characters of alpha is matching with identified characters. So we will say that the class of this individual is alpha. Again in the alpha class there are many orders prescribed by systematists and characters of each group is given. Similarly we will find out all the 7 positions of that organism and we will say that we have completed the classification job of that organism. So first duty was identification, means noting down the key characters of the organisms, and second duty is the providing a status prescribed by systematics. There are 7 categories, obligate categories used by the systematics and this is called classification. It is the practice of determining the 7 obligate taxonomic categories of any organism by matching the identified characters with the characters assigned to each category by systematists. What is classification? It is the practice of determining the 7 obligate categories to find out its kingdom, to find out its phyla, to find out its class, order, genus, family, species. All these grades are determined. It is the practice of determination of the 7 obligate taxonomic categories of any organism by how? First we note down, identify the characters, and the identified set of characters are matched with whom? The characters of every grade given by systematics. Which phylum will have which type set of characters, which phylum, which class, which family, and the identified characters are matched again and again to determine each level of classification, and this whole practice is called classification. So what is classification? We can say it is the practice to determine the taxonomic categories. Okay, and the third work of taxonomy that we have defined is nomenclature. We have counted 3 characters in systematics. The first was identification, second was classification, and third we are giving to explain is nomenclature. What is nomenclature? The practice to provide a scientific name which is universally accepted and unique to the organism. Means every organism is given a scientific name that is universally accepted, and each organism has a single scientific name. For example, human being of the world, anyone is scientifically in the biology known as Homo sapiens. So it is common for the entire species of that organism worldwide. It is accepted and it is scientific, means there are rules and regulations according to which every scientists are indicated to give the new name after invention of the organism. For example, before scientific nomenclature, there was practice of giving common names, and common names was dependent upon the language of that area, and we know that there are hundreds of languages worldwide. So the same organism, like a crow, is known with many names in different languages, approximately in 1,000. So a crow has thousands of names in different languages, and it is impossible for any student of biology to remember all these thousands names only for a crow, and it is useless. It is of no benefit. So there must be only one name according to some rules and regulations, means universal, and it must be known with a single name, that is called scientific name. And the practice was made by the Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, and hence it is called father of binomial nomenclature. Bi means two, nomial means term. Any organism has the name made up of two terms. It is called binomial nomenclature. So the scientific naming was first done by Carolus Linnaeus. So what is nomenclature? Common naming system has confusion as having hundreds of synonyms. So Linnaeus provided binomial nomenclature system. Binomial means two words. For example, Homo sapiens. Two words, Homo and sapiens. Similarly, every plant, animal, bacteria, all these are given the name of two words. This is called binomial nomenclature system, and it is very important for the students to know the rules and regulations, main rules and regulations that is obeyed here. And in the next class we will see the rules and regulations of binomial nomenclature. Okay, so what we seen today: systematics and taxonomy, that has three duties: identification, classification, and nomenclature. Now the next class is for binomial nomenclature. Okay, thanks.